Angie's future, St. Lucia Academy, after 1986. Oh, it's the fuck you place! Everyone in my bitches hate St. Lucia. Fuck this school. Shion hates it. Sadako hates it. Fuck this school. Hold on. Let's get this on. Good day to you. Good day to you. Good day to you is the standard greeting used here. No matter how many years pass by, the style of greeting still feels very awkward. Even though I responded to the greeting in order to stifle that awkward feeling, the classmate who had spoken looked at me blankly. Actually, because I hate this place, Hold on. I'll just let the cricket go, because, fuck this place. Huh? Huh? What's that? It seems you're mistaken. Oh, well, I mean, I can also see that Shion hates it because it's full of religious stuffs. I don't know. I don't think I could do, the Gokigenyo thing and then, deal with, oh, I'm such a good little Christian Catholic girl. But then again, I'm not any of those. Anyway, their choice of words and manner were certainly what you would expect from a school for rich girls. But the actual meaning was as innocent and as cruel as you would expect from kids of that age. It seems they found it funny that I mistakenly thought the greeting was directed at me. No, it might be the opposite. Maybe they didn't know how to react after being suddenly greeted by a gloomy, quiet kid like me. No judging by the gazes of my classmates who were looking in this way over their shoulders and whispering to each other. It looked as though some of them considered this refreshing morning ruined. It's okay, because they're not refreshing in the slightest. I love Shion. I mean, she's one of my favorite characters because, she's the black sheep, bro, of her family, and so am I. I was dark because I was disliked. So trying not to get in the way of everyone's refreshing morning anymore, I stoop lower and enter the classroom. Nah, you know what you should do? You should fuck everybody's day up. Be like, I'm Angie Ushiramiya, and fuck all you. I'll just keep misbehaving. And then I'll get kicked out of this school. And then, you should have kept doing that and then piss off Ava. I mean, if your life's fucked anyway, you should have done that. I don't know. Well, that's what I would have done if I was Angie. I mean, it really sucks what they're doing to Angie. Because I hate the school. Almost as like I was cutting through the aisle in a movie theater while the movie was running. This is an all-dorm school. St. Lucia Academy. Yeah. I mean, she could have tried to be a menace at the school so the school would be like, okay, we don't want this bitch anymore. It's not a school that anyone can get into by taking a test. It's a hidden rich girl school, known only by a select group of celebrities from various fields. For lofty nobles who truly wish their daughters could be raised like saints, this is probably the ideal school in which to protect them from impurities of the common world. Well, more like it's a school for spoiled brats! Fuck this school. You're gonna hear me getting pissed off. This episode makes me so emotional. Anyway. But at the same time, it was probably also convenient for nobles who wanted to confine their daughters they didn't want out in public, as well as the academy isolated from the impurities of the common world. It also held excellent potential as a prison school. I was truly among the latter and was confined in St. Lucia Academy, forced to live my life in dreariness. Yep, I've had a life kind of, not in a dorm, but I know what it's like to be isolated like Angie, in that sense. Of course, there weren't that many students like me, and you couldn't tell us apart at a glance. However, even if we never fessed up about it, you could usually figure out who we were by watching how we act. After all, we were always hanging our heads with an expression on our faces, as though the whole world had abandoned us. Anyway, every class had one or two kids like that, so even if they didn't speak out about it, you could guess who they were. Therefore, even though I never confessed I was one of those kids at some point, everyone in my class knew about it. Just like how the seriousness of an injury becomes a sign of status in the hospital room. How noble a birth one had become a sign of status here. Those girls who couldn't be acknowledged in public were probably nothing more than filth to the others. They must have thought that being involved with such students would dirty them as well. The Venn diagram of Umineko fans, the people who relate to Angie in episode 4. Oh, yes. Angie, my third favorite character. When a rumor sprang up about a particular student, those fastidious girls would grow cold and distant, chasing that student out of all social groups. Thanks to that, I led a quiet school like this all by myself. Well, that's only if hearing people whisper behind my back and finding my things lost and broken all the time and having everyone pretend like they didn't know anything can be called a quiet school. I beat up those girls. I wish I could be Angie's #1 protector. I'd be like, beat up these girls with a chair. I'll go crazy. I'll get Hinamizawa syndrome. Wait a minute, I'm not supposed to say that yet. Damn it. In this early morning, I must look worn out. I can almost understand why my other classmates who had a refreshing morning looked at my face and wanted to click their tongues. Consciously trying to do as I should, I avoid tainting my classmates' morning. I quietly took my seat. Then unusually, someone came to talk to me. It was the class leader. Good day to you, Ushiro-miya. You seem to be in a bad mood this morning. Were you able to get enough sleep? Is there some business you have with me? You're the only one who's not submitted her questionnaire for the class presentation, Ushiro-miya. Did you forget the deadline was yesterday? I'm pretty sure I heard something about that last week, but I thought the questionnaire hadn't been passed out yet. The details would be written there, so that shouldn't have been any need to remember them beforehand. I wasn't given a questionnaire. That can't be! I believe the dormitory leader handed them out to everyone. If you lost it, all you have to do is honestly say so. Oh yeah. I lost it. I'll fill it in right now, so could you give me the sheet? Again, either someone lost my sheet, or they intentionally didn't tell me about it. But I have no way of knowing who was behind that. In the end, treating it as though it was my own carelessness would settle everything more quickly. Once you fill it out, drop it in the questionnaire box in the student council room yourself. Our class is the only one that didn't get everyone's in by yesterday. As I hung my head at the class leader's scolding, I could hear the giggles and whispers of people watching, coming from no direction in particular. Ushiro-miya did it again. She's just so careless. She doesn't deserve to be in this school. Yeah, you're right. She deserves a better school, not to be around you bitches. She has no dignity and no manners either. Pfft, what, you call your fake-ass attitude dignity and manners? I'm sorry they pissed me off so much. Sorry, girls, but I've dealt with much worse when it comes to unfair personal attacks. As I froze my heart, I let those arrows of ridicule pass by. I quickly filled out the questionnaire. Me coming in there to protect Angie from every single... I'm sorry, I hate them so much. Okay. When I learned that father and mother and Oni-chan and the rest of my family had died, I was at the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. The only survivor of the accident was Ushiro-miya Eva. Only Aunt Eva. Even at the time, I hadn't really liked Aunt Eva. At a glance, she would act kindly. But even as young as I was, I could see she was somehow making fun of father and the rest, and I hadn't liked it. When it was decided that Aunt Eva would take care of me, I was pretty miserable. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered if that gentle Uncle Hideyoshi and George had been with me, but I hated the thought of living all alone with Aunt Eva. I frankly said that to Grandpa, hoping to live together in his house. However, Aunt Ava had been very insistent that she should be the one to look after me. No, Ava, go get therapy. Don't get another kid. She had no desire to remarry, so as her successor, I was essential the Ushirimiya family was to continue. Aunt Ava felt very strongly about the family. She insisted I take charge of me right away so that she could give me education and a lifestyle fitting for a successor. I know what it's like to have a shitty mom. After that, it seemed that confusing negotiations with lawyers took place, but in the end, I was forced to go live with Aunt Ava. After doing that, Aunt Ava told me something. You must bear all the glory in the history of the Ushirimiya family, and in order to make you a fitting successor to bear that, the rest of your life will be dedicated to frantic studying. Sacrifice the rest of your life for the Ushirimiya family. That's what she said. At first, I thought she meant that literally. I quickly realized that wasn't the case. Because even now in Aunt Ava's eyes, the one most fitting to succeed her was the late George Oni-chan. At our first meal together, I received strict instructions and questioning about table manners, and was forced to listen to her abuse Dad and Mom as though they'd been neglectful in their discipline. I also received the same strict instructions regarding manners at my first party, and my clumsiness had been disparaged in front of everybody, forcing me to endure insults to Dad and Mom as well. After that repeated over and over, I eventually began to understand. Aunt Ava didn't really want to make me her successor. She thought George was the only one truly suited to be her successor, as she couldn't forgive the fact that it was to be me instead. So she insulted me in front of lots of people. She humiliated me, and she made it known exactly how I was inferior to George to both acquaintances and strangers, surely in a place of a memorial service for her dead son, or rather, she must still be mourning his death. However, that wasn't something I could endure. I couldn't possibly live together with Aunt Ava. I was kept like a pet, my life continually compared with her dead son's. I understood that, even when I was in elementary school. I tried to escape the Ushirimiya house and run off to the house of my grandpa on my mother's side. However, Aunt Ava had already foreseen that. Thinking back on it, she might have lured me into escaping. I was caught by the guards and brought back, and for being a coward who smeared the Ushirimiya family crest with mud and tried to throw it away, in a way that makes my whole body shake and shiver just remembering it. I was punished. How should I describe what Aunt Ava was like when she punished me? In a frenzy? Gleeful? I saw the anger and sadness of her losing her beloved son, as well as hatred and pain from me, stealing that inheritance from the son who should have received it, and the dark pleasure of being able to let those feelings out on me. I was hit with all those negative emotions at once. Yeah, I like Ava, and then it stops after this point. Like, I don't like Ava in episode 4, or like after she leaves Rokkenjima. That just stops right there. Then all my free time and freedom to act was stolen. I was put under surveillance around the clock. I may have lived in a gorgeous mansion dressed in expensive clothes, but my heart and my dignity had been trampled upon, and I was the Ushirimiya family slave. Its cattle. Oh, yep. I definitely know what this is like. I read Umineko like the first time around that time where I had an experience kind of similar in that way. So it actually really helped me. Compared to that lifestyle, the derisive laughter of my classmates here was calm and pleasant. It caused my heart no trouble. After bearing almost all the fields of the questionnaire with nothing in particular, I folded it in my pocket, because if I left it on my desk, it might disappear again. During lunch break, after dropping it off at the post box in the student council room, I finished lunch by myself as usual and headed behind the school building where no one could be seen. Only my time by myself could protect me from the derisive laughter and gossip. Since I was hated and didn't have a single friend, my time alone was almost kind to me. Middle school. After checking the surrounding bushes to see whether some of my malicious classmates were hiding and threatening my time of quiet, I finally relaxed the tension from my entire body, knowing that I had gained some true peace. Then, I let out a sigh. It faltered, heavy as though it was the first time I had breathed out today. My old favorite place behind the vegetable garden storehouse had been found out by my classmates, and I had been teased, so this is my new lunchtime hideaway. There was nowhere to sit behind the school building. As I crouched near the wall in the shadow of the bushes, I opened my bag and took out a book with an elaborate old-fashioned binding. Just glancing at it, you'd probably think it was a religious book or something written in the Middle Ages. But this wasn't a book. It was a diary. Of course, it wasn't my diary. There weren't any special things worth writing about in my daily life. Same, when people ask me, how am I don't even know how to answer. Pfft. Every single day was just gray, cold, and dry. In those completely unchanging days, there weren't any changes worth writing down. This is the diary of Maria, a girl I've been very close to. She'd been a bit strange and 3 years older than me, but One-chan was always a warm and wonderful cousin. She'd always grab me by the hand and let me join in on some fun game. I remember that being able to see her was the most fun part of our family gatherings. When I opened the diary, the characters, which were made fairly skillfully considering this was an elementary schooler, were packed close together, though they were written on every other line. Was she just hopelessly obsessed with jotting everything down in her diary? Probably not. To her, writing her daily life down in a diary was probably like having a conversation with another part of herself. So rather than an object on which events of her days were written down, Maria's diary was written like a letter to another part of herself, telling the events of that day. I found this diary among her belongings after her death and secretly took it home. At first, I felt like reading someone else's diary might be boorish and satisfy myself with just keeping it by my side. But I couldn't help but flip through the pages, reading through it bit by bit. And by now, she had become my only friend. I gently opened the page with the bookmark. Sorry to keep you waiting, Maria. Could you let me hear your story again? At the same time, a very, very soft breeze blew, tickling the paper. I thought the open diary might have sparkled faintly. The weather's good today. Maria loves the wonderful rays of sunlight, so I'm sure she's in a good mood. On the pages of the open diary, no, in the world of the diary, Maria showed herself. I'm pretty sure she was 9 when she died, so her form was already younger than me. But I call her One-chan, so she affectionately calls me Angie.
Ah! Angie, you were slow getting here today. Was it packed at lunch?
Yes, it's always packed. Groups of friends set up camp in the seats and they stay there, even after they finish eating. It's pretty fatal if you get to the dining hall late. I was on cleanup duty today.
Ah! I eat fast! The faster you eat, the more you can play! Ah!
Maybe she realized I was holding a grudge because of that duty had been forced upon me and shortened my lunch break by a bit. Maria brightly changed the subject. Grateful for that act of kindness, I responded by saying that I was a slow eater. Maria calmed me down, saying something about teaching me the trick to eating fast. I read about it in her diary. No, I heard it from Maria. She was ranked number 1 among the girls in the speeding ranking for her grades newspaper. She was apparently very proud of that, but a little disappointed that her mother, Aunt Rosa, hadn't praised her very much for it.
Ah! Then let's start our story for today. How far did we get yesterday? Ah!
This far. Until you got Sakutaro as a present, Maria. You promised that you'd tell me about Sakutaro.
Let's talk about Sakutaro! You know Sakutaro is a really cute stuffed animal! I'm sure you like him too, Angie!
Yeah. Tell me that story. The only time I can relax at school is when I'm listening to your stories during lunch break.
I'll tell you about it! Sakutaro was really,
When I looked at Maria, who was always in a good mood, it made my heart feel warm as well. As I listened to her tale, I began to get absorbed into her world. Happy birthday, Maria! Sorry I got back so late. Oh my god. Okay, so it's also things like this, because I used to get raised by my siblings more than my parents, so they often took me out to places, so.
Good job with your work, Mama! I know you're busy, so even though you're late, I waited without crying! I was good and waited and watched TV!
Yes, you're such a good girl, Maria. As a present for waiting politely, you can order anything you want today. Of course, only as much as you can eat, okay?
Today I can change my corn soup to onion gratin soup?
Yes, that's fine.
It's 200 yen more expensive, but can I change it to prosciutto pizza?
Yes, that's fine. If you can really eat it, but that's okay. It's your birthday after all. There must be a reward for a good girl who waited so patiently.
Then can I have an enchilada cheesecake for dessert? And then the chef's choice fruit salad and kids' french fries. I want to drink melon soda too. I'm a good girl. I'm a good girl. Mama praise me.
You're getting a little too excited. If you don't quiet down a bit, you'll disturb the other customers. When Rosa gently admonished her, Maria stuck her tongue out and eased up a little. But it seemed she was having a hard time repressing her excitement at being able to eat out with her mother after such a long time. Today was Maria's birthday. Rosa always let Maria spend her birthdays at great restaurants. When Maria had been in kindergarten, they sometimes invited other kids from the neighborhood over and had a party at home. Rosa would make a wonderful cake and snacks and decorate the house herself, making a huge celebration. But when they moved, and Maria no longer had friends in the neighborhood, Rosa had started splurging at expensive restaurants instead. However, today, they were in a normal family restaurant. It was also a little late for a day for a kid like Maria to eat there even with a parent. Actually, she'd gotten reservations at a fantastic place that surely would have pleased Maria. Of course, she also prepared a wonderful cake with Maria's name written on it. But Rosa just hadn't been able to finish up her business and had been forced to cancel. Since that plan had been traded for a local family restaurant, Rosa felt a little indebted to Maria. So she was prepared to spoil Maria a bit and let her have whatever she wanted tonight. You never used to eat much, did you, Maria? Was it really alright to order that much?
I can't eat very much, but I like to have a lot lined up. You know, like on a birthday table? If it's colored all over with red, blue, and green and yellow, it makes you really happy.
You're right. Having your birthday table be colorful can make you feel happy. Birthdays at my place are no match for yours, Maria. But the cakes we brought at Fumiya's store in front of the station were always gorgeous. And she thought back to her own birthdays nostalgically. Even though Dad was busy, he sometimes came home just to show up at my birthday party and then went right back to his company. At the same time, I was sad, but now I understand how important I was to Dad. Pfft. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and with Maria and Rosa's stuff, it gives me so many freaking flashbacks. Of course, Mom also took very good care of me. In particular, her birthday presents were always in excellent taste. She sometimes arranged for them several months in advance. Bruh, if I had people this dedicated. Even though we always sent an invitation to Balor, he didn't get along with Dad or something, so he kept not coming. Yep. So when he did come, I was really happy. The birthday parties when our whole 4-person family gathered made for fun memories that I'll never forget.
Angie's birthday sounds like a lot of fun too! Balor and Uncle Rudolph are really lively! Yay, yay! Balor got covered in cola!
Maria peeked into my happy memory. As I sat quietly, wearing the origami helmet that Dad made for fun, I was a little embarrassed. But in my hand was a paper gun that Balor had folded for me, and Mom was taking a commemorative photo. It was the happiest moment of my life. Oh, yeah. But your birthday's no worse, Maria. And this is the day you get him, right? SAKUTARO.
I was really looking forward to it. I got so excited wondering when Mama would show me the red present in the corner of her bag.
SAKUTARO is the name of the stuffed animal that Maria was to receive that day. For quite some time before then, Aunt Rosa had been making a stuffed animal to give Maria as a present today. Ugh, pretty sure she was a bad mom. But I think she was trying her best, I guess, but she also didn't really know how to do all that stuff. But it makes sense. I don't blame why she doesn't know. I mean, considering her family, yeah, that's probably why. Who would know how to have a family when you didn't experience having a nice family? Hearing that it was a cute stuffed lion animal, Maria had already given it a name, SAKUTARO, even though she hadn't received it yet. Today she was looking forward to meeting SAKUTARO even more than her own birthday. Aunt Rosa ran a clothing design company. Oops, no wait. Aunt Rosa ran a clothing design company. It seemed to be some kind of brand name. But what was it? Auntie Rosa? It seemed their catchphrase was, "I can't forgive the me of yesterday." What? I mean... yeah. I think, like, for me, like, with me as Maria, I also kind of had my own bunch of SAKUTAROs kind of thing. Or I did things similar to Maria. Unfortunately, I never met someone who knew that brand name. Maybe it wasn't that famous. So, Aunt Rosa was pretty skilled with her hands. I heard she made some of the clothing she wore herself, so making a stuffed animal had to be well within her capabilities. A handmade stuffed animal. That's pretty amazing. By the way, why did you call it SAKUTARO?
Actually I wanted to call it Sakura, but it's a male lion, so she told me to give it a boy's name. So I added a boy like Taro and called him SAKUTARO. Eventually, the last U disappeared.
Why Sakura?
The main character in carved after Sakura.
It was the name of the main character in a TV anime that was popular at the time. The fact that she simply borrowed the name of a character she liked. How should I say it? It was cute and innocent as you would expect from someone that age.
Mama! Still no SAKUTARO? I want to let SAKUTARO join in on my birthday too!
Presents always come at the end, right? Even if you open it now, it'll get dirty. Hold on till the meal is over.
Then I'll finish eating quickly.
As soon as she proclaimed that, she started tearing into her meal. Aunt Rosa got mad at her, saying that was rude. It seemed that she expected this would happen right away. I also thought, given how straightforward Maria was, that's probably what she would do. So it was kind of pleasant when my expectations weren't betrayed. In the end, Aunt Rosa lost her daughter's eyes which were sparkling with anticipation, cleaned up the table, and took out the long-awaited wrapped present. Happy birthday, Maria. I wasn't able to spend much time of it, so I couldn't make it very well.
Ah! If you made it, I'll be happy with anything! SAKUTARO! SAKUTARO!
Aunt Rosa spoke a little humbly, but Maria was happy even before opening the present. I could really understand that feeling. It's not a problem of quality. It's just the fact it was a handmade present that was more pleasing than anything.
Can I open it? Can I open it?
I wanted to wait until we got home before doing it. But just for a bit, okay? We'll just take a look and say hello and then put it back. You can give him a proper greeting once we get home. We're in public, so you can't fool around, okay? Can you promise?
Promise! Promise! So can I open it? Can I open it? Mama!
Yes, just for a bit, okay?
Yay!
Before Aunt Rosa finished talking, Maria started unwrapping it. I mean, I think, my opinion, like, it's just like Jessica said, she was a good mom at first. So, it's not like she was terrible at first, or like, I mean, she kind of like spoiled her. So, I think Rosa just had problems, and if it could be resolved and stuff, and they had a lot of time with Maria and everything, if things could be like that, it could be okay. Or like, if she was with a guy that was very open-minded or something. Who knows? As soon as she did, orange and yellow peeked out. What had appeared was a slightly blank-looking lion stuffed animal, with a cute round eyes and a white chest. Oh, the entire Ushiromiya family needs therapy. Unfortunately, this is 1980s and in Japan, and Asians are not known for their therapy. It was about the size of a small pillow. It looked pretty big next to someone as short as Maria, but it probably wasn't that large. From the perspective of someone who didn't know better, it would probably look like some cheap brought from a department store or something. But to Maria, it was her mother's handmade stuffed animal, the only one of its kind in the world and irreplaceable. I should know because my family also doesn't like therapy.
SAKUTARO! SAKUTARO! Cute! So cute! Thank you, Mama! Thank you, Mama! Thank you so much for making a cute stuffed animal, even though you're busy with work!
If you praise me that much, it's actually embarrassing. I couldn't take much time, so I couldn't make anything that good. I actually wanted to make one so big you couldn't wrap your arms around it.
No! This is good! With this size, we can always be together! We can go out together!
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's try that again. I accidentally brushed my fingers against the mic.
No! This is good! With this size, we can always be together! We can go out together! SAKUTARO! I'm your own Nichan!
It really is an adorable stuffed animal. So this kid is SAKUTARO, your best friend.
We can't go to school together, but me and my best friend are always together at home. You know, SAKUTARO is really innocent and cute and always nice to me. He supports me when I'm feeling down and plays along with me when I'm feeling good. So I'm never lonely anymore. Not lonely when Mommy's busy at work and I'm all alone. Not even when no one plays with me at school. Isn't that right, SAKUTARO?
At school, Maria had lived in the same kind of environment as I did. Compared to the other kids in her class, Maria's tempo was always a little slow. Her sensibilities and way of viewing things were a little peculiar and a little too idiosyncratic for her to blend in. Her grades were low as well, and since she was always talking about everything related to the occult, her specialty, she was treated like a weirdo by everyone else in class. If you were touched by Maria, you'd be cursed, stuff like that. Apparently, everyone in her class acted like she was disgusting, made fun of her, and avoided her. If a boy bumped into Maria, he'd start rubbing that part against other boys, as if he'd gotten some scum on him. They'd pick up her stuff like it was something filthy and chase the other boys around with it. It seemed that girls even thought speaking to her was unpleasant, so they ignored her all the time, only giggling and sneering whenever she made a mistake. Fuck those kids too. I'll beat the shit out of them too. It looks like the bullying is the same in all eras. Humans really don't advance at all, do they? If only they just get wiped out.
I'm sad when I'm bullied, but I think it can't be helped.
It can't be helped? Why not?
After all, there's a rule that says every class has to have a single bullied kid.
That's a horrible rule. I like to find the person who made it and hit them over the head with a brick. Using the corner, of course. Fuck that logic.
If I wasn't there, then surely there'd be a new bullied kid chosen in my place. By staying strong, I can protect that kid.
As she said that, she smiled faintly. Maria's way of thinking really is unusual. According to her from the beginning, a witch had resided in a place called a school. No, she says that any place where a lot of people will gather will have a witch residing there. The witch tries to steal the students' souls through death or disease by accidents. Apparently, she sometimes also corrupts that soul, leading them down the path to evil. She says that an angel came not content to let that continue. And by the way, this is also alluded to in Higabana no Sakuyoro ni.
And the angel tried to finish off that witch. The witch was powerful and the fight took 7 days and 7 nights, but even then it still wasn't over. The tired out witch asked for a truce and proposed this.
I heard about that one before. Until now, I made half the students in class become sick or injured, but in exchange, I protected the full remaining half of the students from sickness and injury. Therefore, if one member of class becomes a sacrifice to me and is made into the bullied kid, I shall protect all the other students from sickness and injury. Right?
The angel thought about it. Compared to half the class meeting with misfortune, having only one person be unfortunate would be much better. Then the witch said she'd protect the safety of all the other students using her powerful magic.
If there are 40 students in class, the 20 victims are reduced to 1 and 19 people are saved. It's actually a reasonable proposal. I wonder if there's some theme behind this fairy tale. If it's a creation made by Maria, a 9-year-old girl, that'd be pretty impressive.
The angel decided to accept that proposal, so through that single sacrifice, 19 people were saved. That's why my role is important. The witch is protecting 19 people.
Because we become sacrifices? Well, I don't remember ever being thanked by those 19 people. Maria's idea was just too compassionate. Both of us are suffering from a very similar type of misfortune, and yet maybe a small difference in our way of thinking changes how peaceful our hearts are. So you aren't sad, Maria?
I'm not sad at all. After all, I'll be together with Sakutaro from now on, right? Sakutaro? Uryu, if I can meet with Maria, I'll be happy too. Look! Sakutaro says he's happy!
Maria hugged Sakutaro, the stuffed animal, playing both sides of the conversation herself. I don't understand it, but that's exactly why I want to reach Maria's level. So I was intensely drawn to her tale and her words.
Angie, is it tough because you're all alone?
It is tough, but just the time I can be with you like this is different, because I'm not all alone.
Then, if Sakutaro also becomes your friend, it'll be even more fun. Then starting today, Sakutaro is Angie's new friend. Right, Sakutaro? Uryu, I am Angie's friend? Uryu, Angie!
Skillfully moving the stuffed animal like it was a puppet, Maria expressed Sakutaro's emotions. She was controlling him, but the charming way that he waved his short hand and cocked his head to the side made it feel like he really was a new friend called Sakutaro. Of course, looking at it with cold eyes, it would only appear that Maria was comforting me when I was grumpy. But a soul had definitely been sent into that stuffed animal, the soul of Maria's love. So I acknowledged the existence of the being called Sakutaro inside that stuffed animal.
Come on! Say hi to Sakutaro too, Angie! Come on! You say hi too, Sakutaro! Uryu, is Angie a scary person?
As Sakutaro timidly looked at me, he unexpectedly met my gaze and hid behind Maria's back in surprise, making Maria really is good at playing with stuffed animals. It's okay.
It's okay, Sakutaro. Angie isn't scary. She's a really nice girl. Ah! Hello, I'm Sakutaro. Uryu.
Pleased to meet you, Sakutaro. I'm Angie. I'm glad to have a new friend. I held out my hand as though asking for a handshake, and Sakutaro's short hand was stuck out toward me, lightly touching my index finger. After all, when a human and a stuffed animal shake their hands, their sizes are too different. This greeting by touching each other's fingers was our handshake.
Ah! Now Angie and Sakutaro are already friends. 2 people are more fun than 1, and 3 people are more fun than 2. Ah! Uryu.
Maria gave the name Sakutaro to the stuffed animal she was to receive on her birthday, and had warmed and expanded his existence in her heart for a long, long time. Therefore, even before she met him, his existence was sublimated into a personality. Even at the first moment they met, they were already friends. Of course, that wasn't anything extraordinary in Maria's eyes, although I don't think she personified and loved anything quite as much as Sakutaro. She loved the things she owned very much, treating them like friends or beloved pets. Same here. Maybe Aunt Rosa hadn't let her keep a pet at some point in time, so she felt like treasuring objects instead. And maybe she was so isolated that she'd been forced to find a friend nearby. Because of all that happened that day wasn't anything extraordinary from her perspective. Even so, Sakutaro, no, maybe I should call it Sakutaro like Maria. There's no doubt that Sakutaro was a stuffed animal. No, a friend, whom she loved more than anything or anyone. Hello, it's Mama. You're in a good mood. Is a friend over?
Ah! Playing with Sakutaro! Sakutaro, knock it up!
It was already about 9 at night. Rosa had asked us because it wasn't a good time to have a friend over, and she'd just been a little surprised. But when she thought about it, Maria didn't have any friends who'd come over to play, did she? Even so, to think that she'd have so much fun playing with that stuffed animal. Rosa was very pleased that Maria had liked her birthday present so much. Sorry, Mama just can't get her work finished tonight. The next season's lineup is having a tough time. It looks like we're finally starting to get orders bit by bit, and I want to somehow give it a bit more impact so we can answer to their expectations.
So you're spending the night? Sure, okay. Do your best, Mama.
Really? Thank you, Maria. Thanks for being understanding about Mama's work. Rosa was surprised that Maria had accepted so easily that she wouldn't be able to come home from work. To Rosa, having to tell Maria that she'd be coming home late or staying overnight was a huge burden. Maria would start crying about how lonely she was on the other end of the phone. It took a lot of time and effort to calm her down. To think that Maria would accept it in such high spirits. Is this also thanks to Sakutaro? Rosa was once again pleased that she'd given her daughter such a good present. I'll make sure I come back this time tomorrow. Let's eat dinner together then. You haven't eaten dinner yet, have you, Maria? Buy a bento at the convenience store and eat it. No sweets and no soda. I'll check the receipt and the change, understand?
Ah! Shopping with Sakutaro! Shopping with Sakutaro!
Hey! Not Sakutaro! Have him watch over the house! From Maria's manner of speech, Rosa got the feeling that Maria might have gone shopping with the stuffed animal without her knowing about it. Rosa's forehead creased, and after sourly saying that Maria definitely mustn't do that, she hung up.
Mama said I mustn't go shopping with Sakutaro. You can't go shopping with Maria. Staying home alone will be lonely. Why did Mama say not to go shopping with Sakutaro? I'm sure if Maria was seen with me, it would be embarrassing. Embarrassing? Why? Mama says not to take me outside a lot, and she usually says Maria can't do it because she's too old. But I'm not embarrassed at all to be with Sakutaro, right? I'm a lion, but I'm a stuffed animal. You're a lion and a stuffed animal, but you're my friend. So let's go out together. Just when Mama isn't around as a secret. You aren't saying that you're embarrassed, are you? I'm not embarrassed, but Uryu, the people outside are a little scary. Is that it? Then I'll make it so you can go outside without being scared. Leave it at me. I've got something really useful.
Maria started fishing around her messy room. That doesn't look like a mess, but yes, I also have a messy room. Rosa often told her to clean it up, but Maria apparently didn't like doing it. However, Maria herself knew more or less where everything was. So much that if it were to be cleaned up, she would have trouble finding where anything was.
Here it is! Hey look, Sakutaro! A knapsack!
Maria proudly had lit up high. Sakutaro looked at the knapsack, which was gaping open, squirming as though saying,
Are you serious? Uryu, Maria, you aren't saying. This way we can go shopping together and Sakutaro won't be scared!
Maria held Sakutaro up and started stuffing him into the knapsack. At first she tried to stick him in head first, but then he'd be upside down and suffocate. So she pulled him out and tried pushing him in again, feet first.
Uryu, tight, cramped, dark, Uryu, Look, it's alright! If you stick your head out, it isn't cramped, it isn't dark, and it isn't scary! And it's a good view! Uryu, you're right. Is it okay for me to go shopping with Maria like this? Yeah, it'll be fine! What should we get for dinner tonight? Come on, let's go out, Sakutaro!
It looks like you're having fun, Maria.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun! Even things that would be lonely and boring alone all become fun with Sakutaro! Any human friend would have to go home when it gets late. But Sakutaro doesn't go home, so we can be together all the time! He'll watch TV with me and be together even in the futon, and even hold my hand on scary nights when there's thunder. He'll chase away the monsters in the closet and under the bed. Sakutaro is reliable. Uryu, since I'm a lion, I'll show my courage and chase away any monsters that scare away Maria. Uryu, roar!
They were so close that it made me a little envious. I'm supposedly older now than Maria was then, but Maria really is my own Chan. I still haven't reached her level. If only I had a close friend by like Sakutaro.
Sakutaro and I are your close friends, right? We're always by your side. And it's just that your magic is weak, so you can't perceive us unless you open my diary like this.
Perceive? You know some pretty difficult words, Maria. According to her, this world is full of magic and spirits, and there is natural nearby as a light breeze.
You don't normally notice nor see the wind, but when incense smoke or something draws trail, you can see it, right?
Right. And even if you can't see it, it's always nearby.
That's it! We're always really close by to you, Angie! Gods and spirits and guardian spirits are always right next to us, but if you aren't conscious of them, you can't feel their existence, like wind that can't be seen with the eyes. But they certainly are near us, and if they draw trails in the smoke called magic, anyone can see them.
I thought I'd only be able to meet Maria while this diary was open, but from what she says, she's always with me, and I can meet her at any time if I truly desire to.
Along with a record of my life, I left a fragment of my own soul in my diary, so the power of my magic resides in this diary. But it's very faint, so only you can feel it.
Only I can tell if it's there?
Yeah! After all, the power of a witch resides in you, just like me. If you study hard, you too will become a great witch in the future.
A witch. I wonder if that'll be fun.
Ah! It is fun! If you do that, you'll be able to know that Sakutaro and I are always by your side even without opening the diary. If you do that, every day will become fun. If you do that, I'll introduce you to many other friends. If you do that, every day will get busy and very lively.
That might be fun, but I do have the grimoire you left behind, Maria. I'll try reading it seriously sometime soon. If I do that, I won't be alone all anymore, right?
Ah! What do you...
Maria and Sakutaro said that at the same time, happy that I had developed an interest in the world of witches. I don't think I ever went through as bad as neglect with like people I knew in my family, because everyone would be at home at least once every day, and not like away for days like Rosa. So with her knapsack on her back and half of Sakutaro's face peeking out of it, she triumphantly walked through the shopping district late at night. Well, it was that time of day after all. Everyone in the shopping district was either a shop owner lowering their shutters on the shop, or an employee rushing or else staggering their way home. Amidst all that, Maria, who was like in a good mood, like someone on a hike, probably looked quite merry. Every once in a while, passing employees would glance back at her with the eyes of someone seeing something out of place. Office ladies giggled at the cute stuffed animal poking its head out of the knapsack. The supermarket had been closed for a while by this time. However, convenience stores, which had been growing in popularity lately, stayed open until midnight. It was very convenient for Maria, whose mother's return was often late. Maria lowered the knapsack from her back and carried it like a child in her arms. She headed over to the sweet buns corner. She pointed to a sweet bun she'd eaten before, explained to Sakutaro that this one was delicious, and that one was pretty good too. Sakutaro seemed to be enjoying it a lot.
I'm gonna have the 3-colored one. With just this one, you can eat bean jam and sweet and cream and strawberry jam. But there's sometimes greenish brown bean jam or white bean jam. There should be a one kind of bean jam. Uryu, looks like having different things inside makes them interesting. Uryu. Next I'll have a fruit yogurt. There's a fruit in it, but it isn't a sweet, right? Yeah, I'm sure Mama will be fine with it. Do you want one too, Sakutaro? Uryu, is that really okay? What about the money? No problem. Look, it's Shotokutaishi. So I can buy you whatever you want too, Sakutaro. Let's eat together. Would you like some yogurt too, Sakutaro?
When Maria made to grab another one of the same fruit yogurt, Sakutaro bent his head, slightly worried.
Uryu, but I can't eat a big one, so a small one will be fine. Then how about a small yogurt? It's 30 yen. That's cheap. Uryu, that's good enough for me. Yogurt with Maria. Yogurt with Sakutaro!
Maria put the 3-colored bread and the 2 yogurts into a shopping basket and brought them to the register. The man running the register had been in charge of the tobacco shop that had been there until last year. I seem to see you a lot this time of day, little lady. You're a good girl, but maybe you'd better come with your mother if you're going to go shopping at this time in the future, okay?
Mama said it's okay, so it's fine. Mama always comes home late because of her work, but we aren't lonely. Right, Sakutaro? Uryu.
Really? That sounds tough. Here, I'll give you some free soda. The man working at the store took a can of leftover soda or something from behind the register and packed it into the bag with everything else.
Thank you, mister! Isn't that great, Sakutaro? Uryu.
Since she'd been told not to buy soda, she couldn't take it back home. So she decided to drink it on her way back and not bring the empty can back home. With the vinyl bag with a sweet bun in it around her elbow, holding the knapsack with Sakutaro with it in the same arm and drinking her soda, the two of them walked home.
Yuzu Kosho soda isn't really that good. Do you want to try too, Sakutaro?
It's some kind of lemon drink, I think.
Uryu. Uryu, you're mean, Maria. Nasty.
Because yuzu is a type of lemon, so.
It sure is.
Of course, it's not like she could actually make the stuffed animal drink soda. She just put the can to Sakutaro's mouth and pretended to tilt it. But it was fun for Maria to share the taste of this weird drink that she had gotten for free with SAKUTARO. There was a huge moon in the sky. At times, that moon had been clouded by tears when she'd been unmanageable during Rosa's overnight stays, and when she'd been scolded by her mother, but this moon was very warm, and it seemed to watch over the two of them as they enjoyed their trip home by themselves. Maria and SAKUTARO. Angie watched the two of them go from behind. She looked so warm from behind. After looking at the backs of Maria and SAKUTARO together, it became very hard to remember all those long nights when she cried because her mother hadn't come home. I couldn't say it to Maria, but if I'd been in the same position, I may have given the stuffed animal the name SAKUTARO, but it wouldn't have been anything more or less than a stuffed animal. Anyone can make a relationship that only distracts you from your loneliness, but Maria was different. SAKUTARO isn't a stuffed animal or a toy. He was a real friend, and far from just distracting Maria from her loneliness, he changed the nights without her mother into a fun time where they could play all by themselves. Was it because SAKUTARO was a special stuffed animal? Because her mother had made it herself? Because it was very, very cute? Probably not. If there's a secret here, it doesn't lie within SAKUTARO. I think it probably lies within Maria. This is the power of magic you were talking about, Maria?
Ah! Knowing magic means you notice a lot of friends right beside you that you didn't notice before. It's as fun as having a bunch of new toy chefs pop over all over the neighborhood.
Even if I locked up in an academy without a single friend, had a power like Maria, I wonder if I could make my days just a bit richer. I wonder if I'd be able to honestly shed tears on a night I feel like crying to smile on gray nights.
Yes, you can! You can do it! After all, you also have what it takes to become a witch!
What it takes to become a witch.
I have what it takes to become a witch too, so I still got a lot more studying and training to do. I'll definitely become a wonderful witch flying on the sky in the broom, drawing rainbows with my cane and making candy fall from the sky. I can definitely do it. Then I'll show you too. It'll definitely be like a scene from a wonderful dream.
Maria said that, making an absolute promise with her smile. There's no way I can become a witch, but if Maria says that, it makes me feel that maybe I really can become a witch. Because, in reality, on that desolate night when no flower of a smile could have possibly bloomed, her magic surely gave birth to a smile. I wonder if I can become a witch.
You can! You're a bit older, so your soul's a bit more bound by gravity. That might make training tougher than it is for me. But you definitely can. After all, you're already touching a small piece of magic.
I am? Magic?
Yeah! Come on, look. In a world where I don't exist, you summoned me and you're talking with me.
This is magic?
Yeah! You expanded the fragment of my soul that I left in my diary, and you're reviving me right now. I also said it a short while ago, right? Since you managed to reunite it with me and have a conversation, you're able to smile every once in a while. You must have some magical talent, Angie. Your Maria guarantees it. Ah!
You said it a second ago, One-chan. I thought I could only meet you while the diary was open, but you're really nearby all the time, right? If I had more of the power of magic, would I be able to see you? And just like now, would I be able to talk with you, One-chan? At any time?
Yeah! We can talk anytime! I'm there by your side to say good morning and even during class. Let's talk together during dual classes to distract you from your boredom. I'll also be there to talk to you during meals, so let's always be together like this during lunch break. We're with you after school too, and of course I'm always by your side, even after you return to your dormitory. It's just that you don't see me except when the diary is open.
Even when I close the diary, Maria, you'll be by my side, right?
Yes, I'll be there. So if you try to see me and talk to me, I'll definitely be able to answer. If you look strongly and try to talk, that is.
I'll give it a try.
It isn't easy, okay? It isn't going to go all well all of a sudden, got it?
I understand. I'm sure it won't be easy. But I want to be like you, Maria.
Ah! I understand. Then look at me well. Look closely.
Okay.
Slowly open and close your eyes. You can't shut them for a long time all of a sudden. After burning my form into your eyes, try to make it blend into the inside of your eyelids.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Once you can visualize me even when your eyes are closed, without changing anything, slowly and softly close your eyes again. How is it? Can you still see me?
Yes, I think I can probably see you.
Then try opening your eyes for a second. Now for the real thing. Calm your heart and close the diary. And at the time, my form may disappear for a second. But calm your heart and don't get anxious. And then try to make the me that's blended into the inside of your eyelids blend back into your eyes. Slowly visualize me in the empty air. And in the empty air, see me.
Yeah, I'm okay. Then I'll close the diary.
Ah!
Slowly, I closed it. When I did so, a gray reality filled with dull air unfolded. Of course, Maria's form disappeared. Give it all you've got. Have courage. Take the first step into the world of witches. I felt like Maria was cheering me on inside my heart. She's cheering me on? Really? Or do I just think that she is? No, that's wrong. It's because I think this that I cannot see her. Maria is always by my side, and even now she's definitely there cheering me on to do my best. That reached my ears, so I mustn't ignore it like it's my imagination or the voice of my own heart. I believe that Maria is there. I mustn't doubt. I believe. One-chan said she'd always be by my side. I must not doubt that. But looking at that empty space, by the empty back wall of the school building, amidst all those heartlessly boring rays of sunlight, calling out her name was unexpectedly difficult. The chains of common sense that had clung to me until the day sneered at me, telling me that calling out to the empty air was ridiculous. It was almost like being told to take a step forward off of a roof skyscraper overlooking a sea of lights. It's Maria saying it. It's all right. She's saying that I'm someone who can do it. Stop thinking that you might fall or that it'd be foolish to take a step off the roof, and free yourself from those chains of common sense. Okay. I steadied my breathing. I concentrated my mind. Make the vivid form of Maria in the empty space before you rise to the surface. Understand magic. And see Maria. Maria! Huh?
Is someone there?
At the time, I was answered by a rustle in the bushes and a wild cry, and I came to my senses. It looked like I wasn't the only one behind the school building. No, since I've been so immersed in the world of the diary, I hadn't noticed someone coming. I recognized a group of 3 beyond the bushes. They were kids from my class. From their appearance, it felt as though they'd come behind the school building to gossip about someone or talk in secret. I hurried out of that place because if it came known that I came alone in a place like this, mumbling to myself, it'd become a pain again.
She said it right. She said it. She said Maria or something, right? Isn't that creepy? She isn't seeing spirits or something, is she? Ushirami is so funny.
I could hear the shrill, loud laughter from behind. Irritated and feeling that Maria had been made fun of, I left that place at a quick pace and then a jog, and I turned the corner. And I might have made it into One-chan's world with just a little more time. It was frustrating, aggravating. Why does everyone get in my way? I haven't gotten in anyone else's way, not even once. I ran and ran, but it felt as though I could hear their shrill laughter still. Well, this is why you don't call out people's names out loud. Just keep it to your head and imagine you said it out loud. I understand you gotta know how to seem like a normie but you're actually using magic, just like me. Certified magic user. The world 12 years later, October 1998. I remember I used to not like this world and think it was boring. Like the 1998 one. Like sometimes I didn't like it, like the floating to Angie's present thing. Okay, let's see. Ushiromiya Eva. After being repeatedly hospitalized because of psychogenic stress, she already died in the world in 1998 due to acute heart failure. She lived her years later in isolation with no one to understand her as the only survivor for Rokenjima. The meteor gave her the name Queen of Suspicion. She continued to make reckless expansions of her business, just like Kinzo had done in the past, which earned her many enemies. By her later years, she was doing it merely to harass people as if she enjoyed it, rather than for financial gain. And it was all done for the sake of Angie, who would eventually succeed her. Ushiromiya Angie. Even after throwing herself off the top of the skyscraper, she miraculously survived unharmed. After that mystical experience, she threw away everything and went on a journey by herself to learn her past. Can she break through Beatrice's magic from her position 12 years in the future? Huh, okay. I see. And, okay, so go back to the characters. Huh! Ah, okay, looks like some of the profiles did update though. Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty who's lived on for 1,000 years. She thinks of Beatrice's game as a birdcage enclosing Burn Castle. Her goal is an eternal tie. She's an ally with Beatrice as a general rule, but she'll support Battler when it looks like he's about to resign. Then, when it looks like Beatrice is about to be cornered, she'll start supporting the witch again. What? Hey, are we supposed to know this early? This willpower of certainty is far stronger than the endless, which just repeats over and over idly. Wait, we're not supposed to know this yet, are we? Burn Castle, the Witch of Miracles who would live for 1,000 years. To defeat Beatrice in her game, she threw in the piece called Angie. The Voyager witches who cross the Sea of Fragments are the beings far superior to the witches who cannot leave their own territories. While they may be on even footing inside this territory, her true magical power far surpasses that of Beatrice, what is sought by those witches who repeatedly voyage in an attempt to escape boredom. Let's see. Beatrice, the Endless Witch, who has lived for 1,000 years. She is known for being exceptionally cruel, even among witches. Wait, I don't know. Have we read this part already? Let's see. Okay. I don't remember. Angie, the Endless Witch, who will live for 1,000 years in the future. Or perhaps she's already a hunter of witches who will fell them all. Witches cannot be felled if they are not understood. Witches cannot be felled even if they are understood. To understand witches and yet deny them. Only this contradictory power gives her the blade which to fell witches. Ushiromiya Maria, a little magician who's inherited the black blood from Kinzo. Unlike Kinzo, she was gifted with a talent and began to tread the path of a magician from a young age. However, her power is still weak as she hasn't yet graduated from the apprentice's level. However, she is skilled with enchantment, which bestows a magical power among objects, and the magical items she creates are all master class. Oops, my bad. Hey, I'm not ready yet. Maybe I'll read Beatrice's thing. I don't know. She loves bullying the weak and is capable of using trial and error endlessly to find the cruelest fate that they can possibly be given. She toys with victims even further by piling on one after another. This witch is extremely powerful, but word has it she sometimes becomes obsessed with creating certain patterns so that her means end up becoming her goals. Okay, so that's happened. Any tips? No tips. Alright, well. Okay, that's the end of the stream. I'll read more tomorrow. Bye-bye. Tomorrow's Friday. Good night. Yeah, let's go. Gotta go now.